Can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well. Education is not the learning of facts, but the training of the mind to think. They never think of future. It comes soon. cannot solve our problem with the same thinking we used when we created them.
Hello, I'm back. Sorry guys for being so slow and not being here, but I'm here to commentate over this, I'm sure, what has been an epic race. Big fight for Lee there. On his birthday, first place. Sure he'll be taking the win. Unless some surprise LMP cars enter the track, I'm not sure if they will. But for the GT3 classes, we have Pash Potato, otherwise known as JN. Then a newcomer in, I think the newcomer in Thomas. Oh god, I have to say that second name, don't I? I'm so sorry that I'm gonna butcher this, but Hamoyen. There you go. But then in fourth place, Eddie Nerden. He was in here, I'm pretty sure every race, not quite sure, can't remember, he was definitely here last race. Then Andy, he was here all the time, can't get rid of him. Followed by Henry Spencer in the McLaren. He's probably done something, like crashed maybe. Then Callum Jones, terrible as always, and he knows he's a terrible driver, he's always been terrible, and he is terrible. Then Jason Cavallo in a Lamborghini GT3 with all that top speed for Jason. Not serving well though in P8, and then well, I've actually been going by live timings, which is probably wrong. It is wrong. Who knew that live timings was so wrong? So we're going to go back onto the actual list, which is the person I can't say in third place, followed by Harrison, Paul Harrison, then Cavallo, then Nerden, Eddie Nerden, then Callum Jones, who is terrible. Then Andy Turnbull. Then Fractal, who looks like they're having a better race today than he did last week. I'm not quite sure if Henry's pitted or Henry Spencer's pitted, or if he's just been having a terrible race. Might have been having a terrible race, who knows. Then followed by another newcomer in Benedictus. Another name that I'm going to absolutely butcher. But who the fuck cares? But we are, I think we're 15 minutes in. I can't remember how long these races are. Now we're in 15 minutes, I think. Yeah, I'm sure the live stream has been going well. Sorry that you have to watch all these bad drivers driving around Sebring. But as I've only just got home, I'm going to have to down this bottle of wine and make sure I'm actually vaguely semi-interesting to listen to. That's how I do things. I just drink wine and people actually listen to me, apparently. With the occasional beer as well. But here we are, on board with AD. In P5, only 3 seconds behind Harrison. I'd love to know this track, but I have no idea about this track. So I have no idea where anything is, but that corner is now called Visit Florida Corner. As we come on to this, along straight into a fast left, it looks like. Look at the daring traffic cone. Wouldn't want to be sat there if I was at traffic cone. But this probably does look like the biggest fight going on right now in terms of the timings between both Nerden and Cavallo, one in the Ferrari and one in the Lamborghini. The Italian supercars fighting it out in the American track. ZDO again, lovely over the helicopter shot, kind of, even though it's like perfectly following them. As we want to go to the pit straight, there we go, I know where this is. And I think it comes into a left-hander if I'm not mistaken. It does. I do know something apparently. We'll come board with Harrison again. I want to come on board with Lee, who's trying to get around the GT3s. Does it well. Had a bit of a wibble wobble there, as he wasn't sure whether the G3 car was gonna give him some space or not. But Lee, on the person in the LMP class, looks like he is going to take the win on his birthday. Well done to Lee, all that competition. As it looks at the Fractal, goes a bit wide, it's looking like. I'm not sure if that is the line or not, but that's his line. As we start to come into the night time, people's headlights starting to turn on. Pretty sure we should get a full 24-hour style day-night cycle. But it's a good turnout today. A few dropped out. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something, but I don't know. But looks like a few newcomers have picked up for the people that have dropped out. So we've got 11 people out on track right now. I'm not sure if we've had any dropouts in the race, but I want to thank all these people for coming and racing. It means a lot for us guys here at Pizza Bab and here at well, over there down the road about 5 miles away, probably less than that, 2 miles away, over at Just a Penguin. And I always want to thank you guys for turning up and racing with us. So it's nice to see some new races coming up and racing, and it's always nice to see some of the old people coming back. Really nice people who have we met so far. It's a shame because we do have Callum Jones on the server. He's just not a nice person, really. If you do know him, I'm sorry. And I'm not holding any grudges against Callum today. I'm oh, what's a wide line there from Lee goes out of track limits. Who cares though, Lee? Unless he's going to lose to a GT3 driver. Oh, was that a bit of a touch with the wall there? Or was he just wobbling a bit? I think it was a bit of a wobble. Oh no, it did touch. Fractal trying to go a bit too wide there when there was a wall. But as I was saying, because I remember what I was saying, I have no idea what I was saying. Thanks, good job. Look at that beautiful Porsche 911 there. Not as good as the GT Porsche. Is that the GT Porsche? I can't remember. The one that sounds fucking beautiful is the best one. But this 911 does sound just as nice, but not as nice as that one that sounds really nice. Still, I think there's been a bit of a change. Oh no, it's the same. AD fighting with Harrison now though. Used to be Carvalho and AD having a fight. Carvalho is still in the fight a bit, but AD is catching up to Harrison. He's gonna probably have a look, maybe down this fast right-hander. Doesn't. Oh, but Carvalho does get a small gap between them. Must have had a better line. AD must have had a really bad line there. Look at these 3, I think there's there, 4 maybe. Yeah, Hamon here as well. Look at the bright brake discs of the Lamborghini. An amazing shot on board of this 911. Not quite sure how we got this shot, but we've probably got the GoPro. Oh, now we've got the GoPro on his chest now. Look at that. An amazing shot. I don't know how sure we got this. It's like we're in a sim racing game. And we're on the 3rd person now. We've got a drone following him perfectly. As you can see in his rear view mirror, that's somehow projected on the top of your screens there. Now we're going to an actual TV camera. Look at those 3 fighting their way for 4th place. As we have a bit of an Assetto Corsa wobble there. But yeah, I'm not quite sure how much tyre degradation is going to be going on during this race. Oh, and I think there's a bit of a battle going on there still as we look at the more bright. Oh, it looks like AD might have a bit of a better exit through there. He's probably might go for it on the inside. No, he's not. That was definitely not an overtaking corner. If I knew that drift track, I would be saying that. He wouldn't have been going there. Oh, and it looks like he's going to go on the inside. He goes on the curb, but just side by side, coming around this left-hander. But I'm going to have to give up the corner. Might get a better exit out of here, though. There's a bit of a wobble there. Loses a bit of traction But he does have the slipstream. He has a Lamborghini behind him who's going to be trying to pick up those places of any battle that'll be happening. I'm going to put some different joggers on because these are quite dirty. Oh, and there's a... I can't remember. I don't even know. Oh, it looks like Aidy's going to go really wide there. He's going to not lose the place there. I'm going to hang on with Cavallo just behind him. Some great racing going on right now. I was like, oh, change my joggers. Mission accomplished. So I found some more comfy pants to wear. I'll commentate while wearing comfy pants. Whew. Oh, Nerden's gone into the pits. Guessing I missed a lot of action there. Which is great, and a great timing there, Danny. As you did actually leave during quite a big fight. Probably wasn't the smartest thing to do. But as we come down to an hour left, let's go into the Fresh from Florida sign. I'm starting to think this track might be in Florida. I'm not quite sure though. But I have a fight going on between Henry and Fractal. Henry not gonna go for this corner. Gonna keep close behind him there, with the lights shining right into his rear view mirror. Put him off. Could flash his lights to put him off, but that would be mean. I don't think anyone would do that. I definitely don't do that while I am racing. Oh, and Henry goes a bit wide there. Not realising that he's got less downforce when he's in the dirty air. As we go aboard with Lee Crossley now. We have a fascinating overtake, I'm sure, on a GT3 car. Wow! That was amazing. As the Audi overtakes the Porsche. Makes it more interesting if I say it like that. Don't say one of them is an LMP car. Oh, that Henry might want to go down the outside now. He's going to get the inside line, I think. Here he is. Oh, he's still not going to get there. Fractal gets the better line, gets the better exit there. As Danny Kvyat says, you need to get a good exit. As we've seen the Visit Florida sign now, and we got back on board with Lee Crossley as he goes for another overtake on the GT3 car. Fascinating stuff. But we're actually back on board with Harrison, with Carvalho, Lamborghini in his rearview mirror. And just like that, we turn back onto Henry Spencer. The gap now is only up to 2/10. I'm going to try and make another maneuver. I'll be constantly checking that I can still am streaming is the words that I was going to say, but what I actually want to say is if I am still actually streaming. And there was sort of an incident between Henry and Fractal, as Henry has dropped off to 2 seconds, as he did have actually a 2/10 gap. Definitely dropped off there as the gap's opened up again. Probably would have been a good time now to go change my pants to be more comfortable, but no, in my brain the time when there was a big fight going on was actually the best time to go change my pants. As we come on to the 1 hour mark, not too much has changed in terms of the positions. Probably the biggest change obviously is Eddie Nerden going all the way down to P10. Losing quite a bit of time. I'm guessing something bad happened between him and that big fight as Henry follows Fractal off the grass. Henry goes a bit more wide, which onto the grass. Going over some potholes probably. Not potholes, some ditches. Well, there's a big fight going on now between Carvalho and Harrison, the Lamborghini, trying to make up for that. What Adi couldn't do unless Adi did pit. I'm not sure, I wasn't here. Lamborghini with the superior top speed. I've never said that in my life. I don't keep saying that every time I mention the Lamborghini. But the Porsche with the superior. I was going to say superior wang, but I think I don't know which one looks better. It's quite a glorious wang on that Porsche, but then again, the Lamborghini does have a very nice wang. You heard it here first. Looks like Henry's going to get that gap down again to 0.7 from 2 seconds. So definitely catching up. Definitely has the pace to catch up to Fractal, but actually getting around him is a different story. As the gap comes down to 4/10, but we're still on board with Paul Harrison. Now I'm assuming the auto switch will switch over soon. And when it does, well, when we look at this amazing camera. There we go. Now we're on board with Henry and Fractal. So both go off a bit there. Puff of dirt. As Henry's gonna go look on the inside. It's not gonna go for it though. Oh, and Henry's gonna have the superior braking as Fractal goes on the inside to defend him. Oh, and there's a bit of a wobble there. As we go back on board with Harrison and Carvalho. This must be the smaller gap, as Henry did actually lose quite a bit of time to Fractal there in that wobble. No, I'm not quite sure if he touched the curbs or not. And now we're on board with Calum Jones for some reason. Yeah, no, let's come back off. Who knows? But this is the main fight, I'd say, going on right now for P4, a podium place. Right, technically P3. I need to keep remembering that it's actually P3 in the whole thing for the GT3s. P4 in the whole thing. Discounting that great battle going on there for Lee Crossley. Really worked his heart off to get that P1. But it is his birthday, so I probably won't rip into him that much. Harrison gets an interesting line through there. I'm not quite sure if it's the right line or not. Probably is. As I've said, I cannot remember this track. I've probably driven around it, but I can't remember. Come back on board with Henry as he tries to recatch up to Fractal. Oh yeah, we're gonna go on board with Lee now. Well, look at this. Superb driving from Lee Crossley. Got dirt on his car because of all the fights that he's had to do. Oh, and Henry Go is going to go off there. Must have been having a bit of a tangle there with Fractal. He's going to lose a place to Aidy Nerden as well. Must have taken quite a bit of damage there. Oh, he did have a bit of a crash with Fractal. I'm not quite sure whose fault it was as we were looking at Lee Crossley in that epic fight. But he decided to turn back to Henry after just as the incident was going on. But oh, Cavallo's got to get the place on Harrison. Been following it for quite a while. Can he keep it up place? As Paul Harrison did do a really good job defending. Can he do a good job at attacking now? Certainly already losing quite a bit of time, but there might just be a few lines that is messed up as he was trying to go avoid. Cavallo does look like he's going to lose a bit of time there. Yeah, no. Yep, oh, no. Yeah, he's, oh, no. Okay, no. He's a second behind now. Never mind. Still in sight, though. Could always keep with him. Still got 50 minutes remaining in this race, plus an extra lap. Which, I'm not quite sure how long a lap is. The best lap so far is a 2 minute for the GT3s. So, 55 minutes remaining basically in this race, unless, I don't know, everybody crashes on the last lap and it takes ages for them all to go around. As we're seeing a lapped car going around Benedictus. Who goes off on that corner. He's got a Lamborghini in no, that's not a Lamborghini, is it? It's a Bimmer. Trying to see. I think it's an Audi behind him. That might be Calum Jones behind him. And I think that's Eddie who might have just passed him. Andy, I mean, sorry, not Eddie. Andy, same thing. Oh, and Hamon's actually gone into the pits now. He's going to drop down all the way to P7 unless that must be his first pit, I'm guessing. Looked to be going really strong in P2, but unless he's had an off and he's crashed, I'm not quite sure. These are the things that commentators should actually know as Henrik tries to go back down the inside of Fractal. His fight's been going on for a long time as Henrik keeps going off. Every time, and he's gone off again! Oh, he's had another wobble. Not going well. I think Fractal might have some, like, spikes that he keeps delivering in front of Henry's car, and Henry just keeps going off every time he goes near Fractal. It's now... Oh, he's gone into pits now as Henry Spencer. Must have had some quite bad damage. But here again, it is Paul Harrison and Cavallo in this fight. And no, never mind. We're on board with Benedictus as we see him try and get lapped by Calum Jones. But I don't think he's actually giving up his position. As he is not getting them blue flags, maybe. It should be. Oh, when Calum goes really close to him there. As Henry's dropped all the way down, he should be safe in P10, but P10 is not where he wants to go. So we got Calum goes on the inside. He finally gets past Benedictus. And now we'll be hunting down Andy Turnbull. we're still going to be on board as AD and Hamon have a bit of a battle then. As I was saying, Hamon's just pitted. He's still having to fight his way. Not a lapped car. I think they did actually have a bit of a touch as well. So Ed is going to look on the inside. He's got the speed. He's got the speed. Can he keep it going on? Lamborghini's going to pull out of the way just a bit. Lamborghini's got the better line. Ed is going to sort up just behind the Lamborghini there. But Lamborghini's going to have a bit of a drift there around that corner. Got to keep the position. But if this is another long straight, could lose it again as the Ferrari goes down the left-hand side of the pit wall. There were some words there. I'm going to take the inside. He's going to come out onto the side of him. He's going to touch. They're going to touch. They have touched. It's going to be keep going side by side still. As we go into the deep braking zone here. Left, side by side. Some great racing between these two. Side by side still. As we come down, just left-hander. Eddie's going to get the position. Yeah, and there's a bit of a wobble for Hamon there. Looks like he's going to lose that position for the time being. We do know Hamon is a good racer. But so is Eddie. Both probably out of position right now. And this one goes on the inside. He's going to go way, way off. Way too, what is it there? Didn't work out for him in that position. Hey, yeah, I really have commentated that last bit there. Well, no idea what I just said. But back on board with Harrison and Cavallo. This fight going on for as long as I have been commentating today, which is for the past 25 minutes. It is an hour and a half race. It's not often that professional commenters don't actually make their way onto the track at the right time because they have to go somewhere first. Very professional by me, as I do see myself as a professional commentator. Only because I drink wine while I commentate. Just so you know, I took a sip of wine. I felt really cool when I did that. Probably wasn't that cool, really. But the gaps are opening now, which is why I'm talking absolute shite. Not much happening, as that's why we're looking at Benedictus in last place. But now we're gonna change it to more than nerd and a bigger gap between Lamborghini and the Ferrari. Battle of the Italias. And then a battle between the Germans and the Italians here, as we're Paul Harrison and Andy Turnbull. Is this what we're looking at? No, we're looking at Harrison and Cavallo. Andy Turnbull is 11 seconds behind Paul Harrison. If I was a... No, I'm not going to say it. Now we're on board with Eddie Nerden. Not quite sure why, maybe he's getting lapped. We might as well commentate over Lee Crossley's... Oh, and Fractal's actually gone into the pit, so Henry has finally got that place. Finally is going to overtake him. What a great overtake there as well, as Fractal goes into the pits. That's probably the only way Henry could have got around Fractal. As Fractal does have some magnets in his car that repels cars away. Because that's what magnets do, apparently, according to my brain. But now we're aboard with the Paul Harrison and the Jason Cavallo in the Lamborghini. Go for this tricky left-hander, really open track on that bit. A lot of track limits to be exposed. Well, what we have been haven't been talking about is Motato, Jane Motato. Not his actual real name, but and minute ahead of second place in GT3. Really, really solid race for him. Last week he did have a bit of a more interesting race as he has a massive crash at the start. But now it seems to have been a really more simple race today. Looks like he might. I mean, I said this before, and the literal commentator's curse did happen, but it looks like he's gonna get this one in the bag and bar any massive incidents. As Cavallo and Harrison are in this fight, gonna slow them both down in the pursuit of P1 in the GT3 class. And that is a beautiful sound of the Porsche that you can hear in your ears, in your headset, in your earphones, in your fridge. Not sure how are you watching me, or probably one person. I don't think it's my mum that's watching. I think it is a person. I mean, my mum is a person, but I mean, it doesn't matter. As we go around the Visit Florida corner, my favourite corner, and then we go back to Benedictus, my favourite driver on this track, I'd say. Only because of that fucking BMW. As he has a car going up in the inside. Oh, ha! Cantona. Oh, and it looks like Paul Harrison's gone into the pits. It's like now is the time people are going into the pits. Unless they've had a crash. Looks like now is the time to go to the pits. Within these last 5 minutes. Andy Turnbull's going to get the place on Paul Harrison. So is Callum Jones, terrible driver. He's 80, I don't think he will. Unless Paul has some big stuff to repair. Yeah. There comes, oh yeah, no, he's gonna get in front of Harrison, so is Simone. Simone has already pitted, gonna get 5 seconds, probably more, ahead of Paul Harrison. Can't really remember where they were when I started commentating. They were definitely both up towards the top, but not quite sure. Unless I don't think Jay and Mateto has pitted yet. I'm not sure if Cavallo has either, so gaps might start to come down. Might make things a bit more interesting. But speaking of interesting, we're on board with Benedictus now, as he's getting lapped by some Lamborghinis. Just one. We're on board with Lee now, as takes a really good pass around the GT3 car. Benedictus does really well there to get out of the way of Lamborghini. Not quite sure. Oh, please don't crash. Let's not do this. There we go. Had a bit of a... My heart skipped a beat there. I think that's the phrase. Is that the phrase? Who knows? But it did. I was scared that it was going to crash. But it didn't. As we go now to ASMR with Wani D. Hello. But as you can tell, how much talking shit I am doing right now, nothing is happening other than people overtaking each other. Did Benedictus just overtake someone? The fuck just happened? Yeah, what the f... I feel like that Lamborghini was in front of him. What the fuck happened? Benedictus just overtook someone. Oh, someone's just gone. Fractal's gone. Fractal is disconnected. Benedictus is gonna get a place. Up to P10, whereas we're only down to 10 cars on her track. Fractal disconnecting. Did look to have been having a good race, unless he's just not happy with his race. But do know he has struggles with ping in the past, because I think he's Canadian. So ping from all the way over there, over the big pond, can be a bit tricky at sometimes, as Addictor 6, a very interesting line through that corner. It goes a bit wide there, as he knows there's a Lamborghini in his right, as the Lamborghini goes flying past us in this camera that looks to be on the track, which was very interesting, I'd say. On board with Cavallo, with the gap behind him being 9 seconds. The smallest gap right now is 4 seconds. Not much is happening as Calum Jones goes into the pits. I'm guessing for his first pit stop. Where will he come out? Probably in P8, I'd say. Depending how much of a bad time he has been happening on track. How much repairs he's going to have. I don't think Henry will catch up to him. What's that? Yep, Calum's just going to set off now from the pits. Looks like he's going to come back out in P8. As we're aboard with Willie Crossley as he tries to get round a similar coloured car, but a totally different different class and different make. But he's going to have to weave in and out between his GT3 cars now, as he's going to get quite a lot of traffic. Oh, looks like he's going to try to go on the inside. It goes on the outside there, though. As the GT3 car looks a bit scared of him now. Goes a bit off. So, Jane does actually go to the pits now. I think he's been in there for quite a while. He's going to come out of the pits now. Still a minute ahead of P2 in the GT3 class. And just to show you how interesting this race is, we're only staying on board with Lee Crossley as he does amazing things right now. It goes a bit of a weird line through there, but finally gets round the GT3 cars. We've got 2 people going to the pits right now. 3rd and 4th place going into the pits. Like they're both probably going to be just ahead of Calum Jones. Must, like I keep saying, they've got big repairs to do. They're going to lose quite a bit of places. I think things are going to start back to normal now in terms of the positions. Cavallo started just to come out of his pit box now, and so is Adi. Looks like they're both going to lose another place each. And just as I predict, Adi didn't go into the pits, Andy did. Andy. But just as I predicted, just in front, both of them just in front of Calum Jones, as Calum Jones comes right now onto the pit straight, so they are quite a bit ahead of him. 17 seconds to be exact. We're still on board with Benedictus as he gets lapped a bit now and again. But been a good solid race for Benedictus. He's been getting out of the way quite well, respecting those blue flags. Hasn't disconnected, which fair play to him for not disconnecting. It's all about the fun of the race, really, isn't it? So if you get to race around people and get to lag quite a bit, get a big frozen as we get a really good shot there of Benedictus going off track. And as I was talking about Benedictus, we had a big freeze as well. Just look at his car in more detail. I'd like to say that was on purpose, but it wasn't, as Jane has a bit of a crash apparently, according to live timings. Let's hope it isn't maybe it is for things to come. Maybe Potato, otherwise known as JN, will have a ginormous crash, and things might get interesting in P1. Who the fuck knows? Now we'll look at lonely Callum Jones with his yellow headlights. Coming around this right-hander. Not much interest going on now. Better than before, but the smallest gap right now is 2 seconds to Paulson and Cavallo. A big fight that's been going on for quite a while. But yeah, as I was saying, positions seem to be back to normal. Jay and Mashed Potato, then Nerden, then Hamon. Sorry if I'm butchering your name, by the way, but Hamon. There we go. Paul Harrison, then Carvalho, then Turnbull, then Jones, then Spencer, then Benedictus. Forgot to mention that Callum Jones is a terrible driver. There we go. Ugh. Things get a bit boring now, but we're on board with Andy as he tries to hunt down Cavallo. This is the three-way fight that happened a while ago, I think. Was it AD involved? I think AD was involved. It wasn't Andy, as I keep getting those three mixed up. But two mixed up. Andy, very quick driver, he is hunting down his rivals. Unless you want to know how things are going in the championship, because I do want to know actually how things are going in the championship. So bear with me as we look at the championship. No surprise, there's a Mashed Potato, as is known as a JN in P1 of the championship. Then we have AD in P2, looking quite yeah, P2, P1, P2 in the championship. Our P1 and P2 in its race. Then followed by Andy, not doing as well as he probably hoped to in P 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, P6. Then Henry Spencer, another one who's losing out a bit. Who's gone back into the pits actually. Must have had another crash. I didn't see it on live timings or indeed in my game, but probably should actually be looking at this fight going on. But famously, I am terrible at this. So, Callum Jones just behind Henry. He's gonna go into the lead and probably gonna overtake him in the championship. Did I miss anyone? Harrison. Paul Harrison. There we go. Looks like he's going to get quite a lot of points from this. Really good race for him. I'm not quite sure how many races he's done so far. I think he might have done less than some of the others. Then Jason Cavallo, another good race for him. I think he might have missed one race. Can we not do this? Let's not do this. Got 30 minutes left. We're not going to crash. Are we, game? We're going to alt-tab and go back in. So I'm very scared to leave right now, as last time this happened, I couldn't join back in. Tell you what, we'll switch to this scene, and I will have to risk it for a biscuit. As I don't think this will work, but who the fuck knows? Holy shit. It might be working. It's working. Alright, let's go back to this. They have fixed it. Callum Jones and Henry Spencer have fixed something. I am surprised as everyone else is in the chat right now. No one's speaking in the chat. Okay. But, alright, 30 minutes left. We're gonna lose the timings. Oh, we lost the game a bit. Come on. Oh, there's a bit of an off there. You can't see it, but it's happening. Oh, there we go. Ah, we can see the off from Andy. Sorry, Andy, there. Just as things start to fix, it comes back onto you, crashing on corner be further along straight, and not even into the pits. You can't even go into the pits. Ooh. But now we get the live timings back up onto the screen. Apparently, this gap between them is now only 39 seconds. It's a big L for Henry there. Oh, there's another off there. I think that's Carvalho just had a bit of an off and now back on board with Andy. Who, as I was saying before the game, had a bit of a fuck up. Gonna lose quite a bit of points here. Won't be wanting to lose them points. So now we're on board with Harrison, who, if I'm not mistaken, might have made up a place. Adi, yeah, Adi must have pitted. Not sure if he had an incident or he had to pit just then. But we're back into a fight between these two, as I'm using the mouse to point to things. It's not, you don't see Crofty doing this. Look at Lewis Hamilton going over here. And we're going to the Visit Florida. Oh, I've lost it. The Cone Corner. Here. I'll stop doing that now. I'll leave my mouse on. Ah. Oh. What was the camera doing there? Oh, that's why. Benedictus went off a bit. I think that was why. Yeah, and the gap between Henry and Callum definitely ginormous right now. Henry not having a great race today. Once I get a Snapchat. Nothing interesting. As I think the sun is starting to come up. Oh, is it just because it's a bit bright because of the lights? Who knows? I think the lights are going up. The lights, the sun. Yeah, that sky looks brighter. Yeah, it looks brighter. It'd be great if a hurricane just showed up. But yeah, again, nothing ginormously mental is happening right now. Probably everything happened as my game crashed. And I completely missed it all. Benedictus going into the pits. We're just back on board with Paul, Harrison and Hamon behind him. You know what? I'm just going to call him Thomas from now on. I feel like it's a bit more respectful, as all this streamer has been butchering his name. Definitely the sun is coming up now. The bright, bright sunshine in Florida. Benedictus comes out of the pits, back into P10. So got a great shot of these two beautiful cars, and Paul using all the track limits that he can there without abusing them. A great exit onto this long straight. And then it is a long right-hander onto the pit straight. Ah, see, I know what I'm doing now. I know what this track is about. Start to get into the last 25 minutes of the race. It's 23 minutes, or 24, and plus a lap, which is about 2 minutes, so technically about 26, 7 minutes. But still, nothing mental happening as we come on board with this terrible driver, Callum Jones. Back on board with a more reasonable driver in Paul Harrison. Yeah, some great reflection in his windscreen. Great AC reflections there. With a gap between Paul and Himon Thomas. Well, only was just less than a second there. And also less than a second gap between Andy and Heidi. Oh, it's going to be a fucking ball ache to commentate over. But as things are happening up front, I decide to go back to Benedictus. There we go. Eddie and Andy. Turnbull and Nerden. One in the Ferrari, one in the McLaren. One in McLaren colours, one in just a white Ferrari. Quite disrespectful, to be honest. Needs to be red. It does have the Italian flag on it. To be fair, does gain some points. Back on board with Paul Harrison and Thomas behind him. Lost quite a bit of time there. 2 seconds now. It was just under a second before. These are the smallest gaps right now. And as we see, Fast Rider is starting to play Stardew Valley. Grow them crops. Gotta farm them crops. Gonna do some fishing. Oh, there's a bit of a weird bad turn in there for whoever that was. That was Eddie. I'm not quite sure there. But Eddie does have Andy in his sights, and he uses a little bit of a slipstream that I might have there. Does it get us a bit of a breaking in there, and he catch up to him a bit just there. Does a bit of a break and gets a bit of a better exit as well. Cuts down the time quite a bit. Quite a bit of damage there for AD as well. I'm not quite sure if he's got it fixed or not. Not quite sure what happened to get that damage. Probably something amazing, but I missed it. Probably. Unless did I miss it? I don't think I've seen AD crash. Probably did, but totally forgot. The gap now between them both down to the less than a second. Looks like the biggest fight over the race right now is gonna be not over the race, but for the rest of the race, I was going to say, is here, and Andy gets a great exit out of there. Going to go side by side into this longish right-hander. Going to get the inside for Andy. He's going to get the position, and I think Andy's going to go wide there as well. He'll lose a lot of time there as Lee goes off track a bit there. Gets a bit of a jump, but it looks like Andy's going to stick with him. I love to be watching Andy and Andy right now, but the thing has just decided it doesn't want to. I think they might... Oh, yeah, we go. There we go. Eddie is going to get the thingy, but Andy's going to get the inside. Goes out of the track limits a bit there. Fuck the white lines. Because Andy wants to go out and get his position back. But Eddie has something to say about that. As he gets the thingy, as Andy goes a bit wide. Outbreaks himself a bit there. Had to avoid hitting Eddie. And looks like Eddie's going to run away with this one. Gets his position. Going to get a 2-second gap between him and Andy now. And now, the smallest gap now is between Harrison and Thomas. Could this be the fight in the last 20 minutes of this race? But yeah, I'd agree. There hasn't been much Rubins Racing, as Captain Condescend is saying in the chat there. Not much dents in the cars. I want to see spoilers everywhere. I want to see bonnets flying everywhere. I want to see middle fingers being thrown around. I want to see fights on the track. But there hasn't been any of that. Just being Lee Crossley taking over the GT3 cars quite easily. It's a great skybox in the background there. Really high resolution skybox. And then onto this fast right-hander here. Quite tricky. I don't think this... No. Where are we on track? I fucking forget this track. Oh, yeah, we were on the fucking pit straight. Now we're on the pit straight. And definitely the race going on right now is Harrison and Thomas. Only down to 0.7. And is that a Carvalho in the rearview mirror of them both as well? I feel like we're having a bit of deja vu here. These three had a big risk earlier, I think, unless I'm thinking of something else. Maybe Eddie was involved. Who the fuck knows? Oh, there's I think Joe wants a race recap. For 15 minutes, I wasn't here. For 40 minutes, Henry was trying to get past Fractal, who has since disconnected. Which is why he is a minute behind Callumans. Ah, fucking Joe! Disrespecting me. Did someone get a place? Or did someone lose a place? Ah, fuck. I don't know. Now I've lost my train of thought. But yeah, Henry was trying to get past Fractal. Didn't work out. Crashed quite a few times. Finally got past him in the pits. And then Fractal decided to disconnect. Callum. Just been having a really boring race because he's a terrible driver. I'm not holding any grudges against him because of what he said in Messenger. Andy's had quite a big crash, I think. I think he had quite a big crash. And then Eddie, just boring race. He's not boring, it's just a boring race. Carvalho, probably where it should be. Thomas, newcomer, great race. As we're seeing right now, only 0.6 seconds behind Paul Harrison. And then JN, fucking boring race for him. In first place, ba-di-da-di-da. Then Lee Crossley having a great race. Great race. Getting past all those GT3 cars. Don't know how he's done it really. But I also agree with Warren Pills here in the chat that Captain Condescended did get scared of Lee Crossley in first place because he didn't want to race him. What did Joe say? Oh, exclamation mark wine. Okay. See, this is why I need a face cam just for moments like this. Just so I can sip my wine while you're watching it. Oh, my friends list is in front of the lifetime mix. something happens there. Oh, no, I wonder what to be Paul Harrison right now, with 2 Lamborghinis in his rearview mirror, as we get another freeze from Assetto Corsa as well. Swear to God, if I have to fucking disconnect and reconnect again, I'm going. Oh, the whole game just crashes. Oh, my GPU failed apparently. That's a new one. The fuck? My computer isn't even that hot. It might be overclocked too much. It's not even overclocked. So yeah, alright. Alright, might have overheated, but as I was just saying, it's not even that hot. But let's rejoin as Assetto Corsa does its thing. I'm sure a lot of things are happening in the race right now. Oh, there we are. Right. We're aboard with Thomas Hamon. Once again, sorry if I'm butchering your fucking name, but there you go. As we got 3 cars here battling for P2. It is now. P2 in GT3 class. But yeah, as I was saying, having 2 Lamborghinis in your rearview mirror is not a great thing, but it seems to be handling the pressure well. It's Spirit Stream is sponsored by Fresh from Florida, apparently. Thanks, Warren. I'll take that comment in my heart. And this is why I continue doing streams like this, just for people like you, Warren, as we come back on board with Lee Crossley in this epic battle between him and GT3 cars. Been going really well for Lee. Not really had any competitors because he's so far ahead of everybody else, not because he's an LMP car. Oh shit, right, okay. But why the fuck didn't you just say the fucking stream's not working? Because you're all pricks. There we go. Look, see? Oh, well, Jesus Christ. That was an epic dive from Thomas Hamon there. And they come side by side now between these two, and Thomas has come out of nowhere. He's got 2 Lamborghinis and one's got into the fucking tyres. Jesus Christ, Thomas not having a great point there. But Paul Harrison comes out on top still. Jesus Christ. Thank you for reminding me that I wasn't actually in the game. I was in the game, but OBS decided it didn't want to pick it up. But now we're back with epic racing between Paul Harrison and what's his first? Jason Carvalho. As we also do have a hashtag Sempt in the chats. But once again, Paul Harrison holding as well, but Carvalho. Oh Jesus fucking Christ, game! Why are you fucking crashing? There we go. Thank you. Paul Harrison holds his position as we get this great over the top view of these 2 cars. Let's just calm myself down. But this race is gonna continue on to the rest of the race. Thomas losing a lot of time as Carvalho goes on the inside. Looks like he's gonna get that place. Can he hold it? Looks like Paul's gonna fight his way back. Oh, he's gonna maybe get the inside here. Oh, I think there was a bit of a touch there, a bit of a wobble from the Lamborghini. Backs off a bit. This Paul is gonna go down the inside. He's not gonna get the position there. Yeah, there's a touch according to our live timings. Live timings have been shit so far, but for the events that's been happening, it is quite useful. Come side by side here in this long left-hander. Paul's gonna get the position back unless Jason can get a better exit. He's not gonna though. He's gonna lose quite a bit of time. So I had to say that in a posh accent because I struggled to say that. Oh, it goes a bit wide there. Does Jason Cavallo. There was a lot of time. Now it's over a second now. Not a great place to go wide for this long straight, and just in the background now you can see Thomas trying to maybe get his way back up into this fight again, as we got just over 9 minutes remaining plus that one lap, which will be about 2 minutes I'd say, unless Lee has a ginormous crash. And speaking of Lee, we're on board with Lee. It's this great drone shot as we follow him in third person camera. No idea how I would have got this shot, but Lee goes a bit wide. Don't think that might be the line. Who the fuck knows? I didn't drive this track. Who the fuck cares? Now we're on board with a similar coloured Porsche, different car though. And he's got Carvalho in his sights again. Not in his sights, but in his rearview mirror. Gonna as I take a bit of a hit there to my heart from Joe, as I was trying to talk posh because I kept saying the letter T. But I'll keep in my Yorkshire accent. Wine in hand. On board with Paul Harrison, with Thomas is way back. Cavallo in his rearview mirror. He's got the fire engine there. Probably looking out for Callum Jones, who's going to crash there probably. Because Callum Jones is a terrible driver, as I have said 50 times this race. As I come through, it's tricky. Right-hander, then left-hander, then another right-hander. Absolutely a mental part of the track. And we see the speed difference there. Lamborghini should be getting up to that Porsche, but maybe he has more wang. Maybe he got a better exit. Who the fuck knows? I don't, because I'm shit. One right-hander as coming to this amazing third-person camera. Onto the pit straight, onto a new lap at 2:04.6 for Paul Harrison there. Not quite sure if that's good, not quite sure if that's bad. Probably something. Now we're on board with AD, as he is 1.8 seconds behind someone. But it's because he's got Lee Crossley in his back. Thank you for auto switch. As we go on board with Lee Crossley as he tries to get past. Oh, there's a bigger fight going on right now between these two. Jason Cavallo right in the bumper, NASCAR style. But great to have a rear view mirror right now. Ooh, a car. Jason goes on the outside. Paul's going to get the inside line though. He's going to keep that place. Going to have to keep defending though. We're not on a straight right now. Going to look down the inside. No, he's not. Ooh, but Paul is going to leave a bit of a gap there. Going to defend the inside line. Oh, and Jason. It's a bit close there. Has to back off a bit. Having to touch his brakes a bit. Got some great racing between these two. We had a lovely engine sound of the Porsche. Moving on to that. Fast-ish right-hander. Nope. Nope, no, that's the wrong corner I was thinking of. That was the fastest right-hander I was thinking of, kind of, maybe. Who the fuck knows? I don't know. But still on board with Paul Harrison, as we have been for like 95% of this race. Oh, Jason goes a bit wide there. Probably forgetting that that corner exists, but it somehow still is in touching distance of Paul. Maybe losing the track limits a bit. Still only 4 attempts behind Paul. Been a very, very good race between these two. There is a race going on between Thomas and AD, and Thomas did actually lose a position. No, he didn't. Fucking ignore me. There we go. Two fights going on right now. Harrison and Cavallo and Thomas. Him and Eddie, as Lee comes up between these two. Will this make things a bit interesting, as Lee's gonna have to try and get around these two who are battling for position. But Lee racing for something right now, who the fuck knows, racing for his birthday. It's a birthday race for Lee Crossley. I have said before, as we've got to go aboard with Callum Jones for absolutely no reason. Thanks Autocam for showing this terrible driver, Callum Jones, who's racing by himself. There we go, we're back on board with these two, as Lee is struggling to get past these two. Oh, he's going to go down there now, going to go a bit off track, just kept it on track there. And just behind them you can see the fight going on for P5, well P4 technically, yeah, P4 technically, but the great fight still going on between these two all the way to the end of the race. And now we're on board with Edit. And what's happened to Andy? Andy Turnbull is 4 laps behind Benedictus. Something must have happened to Andy, but I'm not quite sure what happened. I was too engrossed in the fight going on between everybody else. So Benedictus actually gets another position. Great consistency, I'd say, for Benedictus. But some great racing going on between these two. 4P2 in the GT3 class. This is another boring race going on in head. By JN. Now 1 minute and 40 ahead, almost a lap ahead of these two. But I'd much rather be watching this than those two. Wait, that prick. There we go. Oh, and looks like Eddie's gonna try and go around the outside of Thomas. It's always a Lamborghini between something, and now it's a Lamborghini between a Ferrari. There's 2 fights going on right now. It's going to make a lot more interesting than it usually is later in the races. As Eddie goes around the outside, he's not going to get the place though. Maybe it looks like he might be trying to get the inside. He's going to get the inside, but so is Thomas. And Callum Jones gives himself a penalty. The fuck? For the reason, because apparently. Not quite sure what that was all about, but now the Autocam can't decide what to watch. There's 2 great fights going on right now between Paul Harrison and Cavallo, and I'm running out of like breath. It just doesn't usually happen at the end of races because nothing is actually happening at this time. But we're on board with AD now. As this is the smallest. Okay, right, well, fuck you too. Going down to the last lap. Not the last lap, there's probably the second to last lap, I'd say. Am I being an idiot? No, I'd say the second to last. Yeah? Yeah. But, oh no, Cavallo's had enough. He's got a big spin. Looks like Paul is going to get P2 now, barring any ginormous mistakes by himself. But now we're on board with Lee Crossley. And Eddie is going to get ahead of Thomas Simone. Be great if we could watch that, but apparently not. We have to watch Lee Crossley overtake a GT3 car. I wonder if I can actually... Wait, what are we on board with right now? Well, I can. Well, what? Not me. Eddie? Yeah, Eddie. I want to be board with Eddie. Because this is the fight that is going on right now between Eddie, Cavallo, and Thomas. Amazing that Cavallo didn't actually lose the place. There, he had a bit of a big off there, I'd say. Must have had a. Oh, what the fuck just happened? And I think that's Thomas Simon. He went absolutely flying off that track. Oh Jesus! Not quite sure how he got back onto the track that quickly. He must have bounced straight back onto the track. That was something else. But now we're still on board with AD. But yeah, I was right. 2 laps to go in this great race. But now we're on board with Lee Crossley, the leader in this race, a leader in class. Been a superb race from him. Don't look at the older dents in his front of his car. I don't think anything happened. There was a door that lock up as well. Nothing happened at all. But once again, on board with AD, who is a second behind Cavallo. Great job by Cavallo to keep this position. Assuming he probably had some. I don't think he had damage actually. Did only have a spin into some grass. But I tell you, did have some damage. Was it Thomas Simon? Quite a lot of damage, I'm guessing. Have we got the final lap now? Lee Crossley on his final lap. This looks like this will be the finishing standings, unless Eddie can make a manoeuvre on to Cavallo. It'd be a really great manoeuvre if he can make one in his final lap of this great race as we go back on board with Callum Jones. Not quite sure if that's his race over or not. I think the final lap's now. But yeah, there we go. Back on board with AD. Trying to go onto the podium. Battle for P3 in the GT3 class. Battle for the points in the full-on championship. I think those two are very close between each other. We're on board with Jayan for the first time. Seems like he's actually gonna make a position, and it's a happy birthday, Lee, from the server. As Lee Crossley takes the checkered flag, P1 in the LMP1 class. I feel like everyone just no, I'm not gonna say that, but good fight from Lee to take everybody out and make them all rage quit. That is definitely what happened. Pass potato. Oh, we're having this. Some donuts now. Pitwall did say they could do donuts, so it's fair play. And as we get the final results now in this endurance race for Assetto Corsa, sponsored but not sponsored by AssettoCorsaServers.com. Make sure you go down there and get your Assetto Corsa servers. But here are the final standings. Lee Crossley in P1 in the LMP class. That completes the LP class. And then P1 in GT3 class. JN, as we're probably gonna have to turn this down as it is fucking loud as everybody is doing donuts. Right, there we go. P1 in that GT3 class. JN, Pash Potato, then Paul Harrison. Great race for him. Did some great defending against all those Lamborghinis up his arse. Then is Cavallo had a bit of an off. But kept P3. Then followed by Eddie Nurden. Another great race for him. Thomas Simon, great race for him. Newcomer, I think. Then Callum Jones, just a boring race for him as he is a terrible driver. Then Henry Spencer, not a great race for him, definitely. A lot of incidents for him, trying to get past Henry, Fractal, then Benedictus. Quite back for quite a lot of time. A few people left, so he got some positions back, but ultimately got P9. Great race for him in his debut race. Then Andy Turnbull in P10. Not a good race for him at all. I'm not quite sure what happened to him, but excuse me. Then in P10 for him. Thanks guys for watching. It's been an interesting stream, as I wasn't here for most of it, but when I came back it was a lot more interesting. But thanks guys for watching. Make sure you go to wherever you can and help us, AssettoCarService.com, server manager on Race Department, and subscribe. Oh yeah, I forget that we do this on YouTube, but subscribe because that helps. I think maybe I don't fucking know. But thanks guys for watching and goodbye.